What is going on, you goofy goobers, you band of bambling buffoons? It is time to continue getting my Mustang ready for the Hill Country Rally for Kids. Like I said, I got the T5 swap finished. Beautiful shift lever there, but I'm gonna go ahead and get, sorry for the angle, get the heater core back in it, get the glove box back in it, get the interior cleaned up. There's lots of work to be done in here. I'm not gonna show you putting the heater core in, I'm sorry. It's not terribly exciting to put in a heater core. You put it in, you bolt it in, you hook up the coolant lines, and you're done. I'm just putting the heater core in so that it looks complete. I'll hook it up, but I never use it anyways. You didn't ask. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna come back. I've gotta charge the camera anyways, but once the heater core is in, that's when it actually gets exciting, because I'm gonna put the new valve covers on it. I'm gonna get it all buttoned up and washed. And then probably in the next video, I am going to go ahead and do the Mustang Steep brakes. I might powder coat the brackets for those in this video. I don't know yet, but I'm waiting on parts. I ordered everything from Rock Auto, but for some other reason, it's coming in like 3 different shipments. So I have the discs, but I don't have the calipers, and I don't have the hoses yet. So those are coming. But anyways, I will see y'all shortly. Okay, I lied. This valve cover is kind of in the way of running the heater core lines, and they have to be run when you put the heater core in. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this valve cover in place and bolt it on so that I can figure out the heater core lines. Then I'll put the heater core in, and then I'll do the other valve cover. But here's the new ones. I can't remember if I showed these in an old video or not. I'm gonna pop this one off, I'll get that swapped, and then I'll get the heater core. Voila! The heater core is all back in. Now, I'm lying to you. I still gotta hook it up over here, but I'm not worried about this yet. I'm gonna go ahead and get the valve covers done, get the plug wires run, get the spars back in it. Then I'm gonna take it over to the house and vacuum it one more time and see what my wife has to say about it. So, one of the things that I will say about doing valve covers, well really any engine accessory, whether it's valve covers, a timing cover, an oil pan, is that you need to make sure the surface is clean and dry, obviously, but I also think it's a good idea, in my humble opinion, to not use gasket sealer. And now you're probably wondering, like, Bryce, why would you suggest I not use gasket sealer? Well, every time I have ever used gasket sealer, all I've done was cause it to leak. So if it's gonna leak anyway, hang on. I said that wrong. Every time I've used gasket sealer, it's leaked. And Felpro, depending on who your gaskets are from, but Felpro recommends not using gasket sealer for that reason. It will leak. So I put everything together without gasket sealer, without any sort of gasket maker or compound in there. I use all the torque specs. I make sure the surfaces are clean and dry. And really, that's what's going to make the biggest difference, is how clean your surfaces are. If you leave any old gasket material behind, it's going to leak because it's going to have a path out. So make sure your surfaces are clean and dry, and make sure that you're using no gasket sealer, if recommended by Felpro, and you shouldn't have an issue. This is what I've been doing for about the last however many years, and I've never had an issue with something leaking not using gasket sealer. Every time I use gasket sealer, like I did on my transmission, despite my better judgment, it leaked. And then I ended up having to get a new gasket because the gasket that was on it leaked, which kind of defeats the purpose. So I'm gonna get this valve cover on, then I'll fast forward through getting these struts together and we're organizing these plug wires, and I'm gonna drive this thing over to the house. So now I'm going to address a conundrum that literally nobody has asked me, which is, what do the strut bars do? Why are they there? Are they needed? And the answer to that question is no, they're not really needed, but you wouldn't want to drive without them, if that makes sense. So the car is obviously a unibody, and you have a box like this in the engine bay that's braced at the bottom, but it's not braced at the top. And since the struts hook up to the top, when you corner, there's quite a lot of force put on the side that you're turning to. So if you're turning left, the right strut. If you're turning right, the left strut. And the car kind of wants to do this. So by putting the strut bars in there, and you see a lot of people upgrade them, it helps brace the top of the box because the top of the box is open. So if I put a brace in there, the top of the box isn't gonna wanna move as much, but it's important where they tie it to. They tie it to the firewall and the cowl, which is one of the strongest parts of a unibody car. It goes the torque boxes, then the cowl and firewall, and then like the A pillars and B pillars. But that's what these do. The second purpose they serve is to actually hold the strut hat down tight so that the strut can't move around, which I noticed when I was driving around because I didn't have it tight, that the struts were kind of dancing up and down, which is also something you don't want because it will cause the car to violently pull left and right, and that's no good either. But now that I've got this all in, it's not completely finished. I need to get lock washers for the valve cover gaskets. I need to get some little miscellaneous hardwares, which I will fix. I gotta get a piece of hardware for the right strut. I'm gonna take it over to the house and I'm going to clean it up real good. And by clean it up real good, I mean I'm gonna spray it with a bunch of brake clean and then blow it dry with a leaf blower. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I've also gotta go to O'Reilly's. I need some hose adapters because the PCV valve is 3/8, but the outlet of the carburetor is 5/16. So I need to adapt that somehow. So I'll see if I can get something for that. But it's getting very warm, so I'm gonna call it for the day. Look at that T5. Isn't that beautiful? The glove box is in. All this stuff is in. The car is now drivable, and that was the purpose of all of this. I can drive it. But in the next video, I'm probably going to go ahead and get into the Mustang Steve brakes. I'm waiting on all the parts to arrive currently, so I'll get the Mustang Steve brakes in it. And slowly but surely, this car is coming along. I now have a Tremec T5, world class, so it has roller bearings. I now have new rocker arms. I'm gonna go, or not new rocker arms, new valve covers. I'm gonna go ahead and I noticed one of my rocker arms is trying to walk, and the push rod is actually eating its way through the rocker arm guide, or through the push rod guide. And it's doing that because I bought Pro Comp rocker arm guides, push rod guides. Pro Comp push rod guides. I also got a Pro Comp distributor. And now here's my advice to you, and I say this respectfully. I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes. But you'll notice the price on some of the Pro Comp stuff, and I don't know that it's the same Pro Comp that's the off-road company, but my point is you'll notice that the price point on some of the Pro Comp stuff is really, really low. And it's really low for a reason. It's not very good quality. I need a new distributor. I need new push rod guides. Basically, every single thing on this car that I bought from Pro Comp at Mustangs Unlimited needs to be replaced because it's just garbage quality. So slowly but surely I'll get into those things. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. As always, go build something and be easy. Maybe make sure that everything, and I mean everything, is tight before you take it for a little drive. Runs good though. Runs real good.